Hi everyone. So today I am going to be picking and gutting an Assa Guideline. This is an intermediate level lock that is very similar to something like an Assa 600 or a Maximum Plus Restricted, which is the newer version, but with just one additional element, I guess, or twist. So this does have the Assa barrel drivers. It's got 6 of them, and it's got matched milling in the plug. So here you can see inside the plug there, the barrel milling, those 2 lines, that's the telltale sign of that. And then you've got your barrel drivers, which are machined to match the milling and catch on it and force you to lift them up through multiple clicks while picking. In addition to that, this actually has some finger pins, and I'll show on the other side of the plug here. So it's got space for 5, but there's only 3, and then right there, there's space for 3 ball bearings, and those ball bearings sit in these holes, and if the finger pins are not oriented correctly, and it's not directionally, it's just lifted, there's ball bearings that will stick out into this groove here and prevent you from turning the lock. So you have to lift those finger pins to the correct position. Now on these finger pins, there is a true gate and a false gate. You can see right there, the true gate's the big one, the false gate's the little tiny divot. But I'm guessing because it's ball bearings and they're round, they kind of just want to fall into that true gate anyway. You can overlift them. I think 2 of these are either very low or no lift, and I did have some difficulty when I was learning to pick this of those getting stuck, and then just me not being able to maneuver around the lock and push those finger pins back down. But they really want to go into the true gate, and the finger pins do not really add difficulty to this. The hardest part by far was just picking the barrels. So it's not that much different than just picking an Assa 600, other than kind of those small little things you have to do in the very beginning to get it set. So with that, we'll move on to the next section. There's not too much more to talk about with this lock, so we'll get over and get it picked. All right, here's my Assa Guideline up here in the vise. First thing I'm going to do is click over these side pins. I think I really only have to hit 1, but let's give the other 2 a little tap. They may or may not be 0 lift. And then let's work on the top stacks here. So like other locks with barrels, these stacks generally require lots and lots of touches, lots of clicks to work them up through their milling, and then eventually I should get a somewhat mild false set here. That may have been it right there. So now I need to click these barrels up through their final piece of milling. So generally you test the barrels, you give them some pushes, see which ones make the plug move, because that means that they are stuck in the milling and the plug still. And that's mostly a feeling thing. Visually, it does not give a lot of feedback. And I apologize because I'm sure that by doing this, I am shaking the camera. So you probably heard a big click right there. That was one of them. Sorry, I was gonna check the side pins, but I just touched pin 6 and it felt like it needed to go. Maybe not. Pin 1 in this lock is a super high lift, so that one tends to be the one that I get stuck on. I'm just gonna double check the side pins real quick here and make sure that they still feel okay. Okay, they feel all right to me. Okay, so I think I've just got a barrel or two maybe still stuck in the milling here. Just trying to test which one. Okay, that was one. That was two. Got another click out of. There we go. Got a little bit of counter rotation at 2 and just needed to tap it back up a good bit. So, okay. I probably should have done the key before I started that. That's all right. I'll do the key now. So there's my lock all picked. I'm gonna lock it back up and then I'll 360 the key so you can see the key works. So relocked. And the key does work. So, sorry I didn't do that in the beginning. All right. Which tray am I going to use today? I think I'll use my ocean tray. Let's go one of these really big Assa side clips. So grab a shim. Okay. I've never gutted this before. This lock is on loan to me, but I didn't need to progressive pin it or anything, so I did not need to gut it. Otherwise, I probably would have put a plastic clip on here. Hopefully that preserved that pretty well. go with that. That seems all right. Okay, so there should be some ball bearings over here. Okay, there's the 3 ball bearings. They're controlled by the side pins. I'm gonna drop those there. And then let's dump the key pins here. Three, 2, 5, 4. 6 had a master wafer in it. And there's 1. Okay, no more wafers. All right, and then we'll do the side pins. These are unsprung, so they should just fall out. Okay. These may need a little assistance. Come on, buddy. Okay, that was 2. So we'll put that up here. Man, these things do not want to come out. Do they rotate? No, doesn't look like it. I was wondering if they were just getting stuck on something. Let's see if I can grab anything on here. Oh, there we go. That's the one from 1. This thing really does not want to come out. There we go. Okay, there's the one from 3. All right, so here's the plug. So there's the holes for the ball bearings. You can see that there's drilled spots for 5 of the sliders, even though they were not all populated. This might be like a spider web in that one. And then there's the barrel milling. It's not super grabby. This lock was in use, so it's a used lock, so it definitely has some wear, but you can see the lines there. Actually, that side, much clearer. Okay. Still not super grabby, but I definitely felt it while picking. And you can see visually that's there. Okay. Let's get the stacks out here. So these should be just barrels. Looked like all the chambers were milled, so I'm guessing it's barrels everywhere. 5, and number 6. Okay. And then we just need springs. And you can see the barrels are matched by length with the key pins to make the stacks balanced, which doesn't really do anything for picking, but I bring this up close here. So there's your internals. You can see all the barrels. The ball bearings are just ball bearings. There's nothing fancy about those. I'll grab these, bring it up here. So I think that 2 of these were 0 lift, but you can see there's the true gate at the top, the big divot, and then just below it there's a little tiny bump. That's the false gate. And on the other key, on the other finger pin, it should be reversed. Yeah, so there's that one. You can see the true gate is below the false gate on that one. And then, yeah, there's like some shaping or serrating on this. That must just be to keep it in the correct spot or the correct orientation in the chamber. And then there's your barrel driver. Again, they interact with the milling here just to make that a little bit more difficult to pick. And then this is the key. I'll just show this real close. So you can see, I think that this first notch right here is one of the finger pins, and these other 2 are the second and third. So I'm pretty sure that these were 0 lift, or you just had to like literally tap them just a tiny bit to get them into place, but not too terrible. The barrels were definitely the hardest part. The finger pins were almost inconsequential. I had wondered why this was considered to be the same level of difficulty as something like an Assa 600 or a Maximum Plus Restricted, which is literally just the barrels when this had additional elements. But the finger pins didn't really add too much difficulty. I think because it's ball bearings and not a sidebar or something, they kind of just fall into place, and they don't really require you to do anything weird with them. You can see in there's the groove that the ball bearings fit into. So, and then nothing special anywhere else in there. All right, that's it. Assa Guideline picked and got it.